This podcast is powered by The Plug.
What's up, everyone, and welcome to another episode of Hustle Bunny. I am your host, August Skye, and today we have the beautiful, gorgeous, and stunning Hime Marie here with us. How are you today?
I'm doing great, and I really appreciate you bringing me on here.
Oh, we're so glad to have you. I've been waiting for this episode for a while. As we know, everyone's schedules can be a little bit crazy and all over the place, but I'm glad you're here.
Thank you. I'm very happy to be here.
All right. So without further ado, let's get started. So how about you introduce yourself to everyone, kind of talk about who you are, what your background is, how you kind of got into the adult entertainment industry.
All right. So hi, guys. I go by Hime Marie. I've been doing adult work for 7 years now. I started on Chaturbate actually about 7 years ago. And very shortly after that, I got into mainstream porn, and I met my first agent at an Exotica convention. That's kind of a whole story in itself. But yeah, I've been loving it ever since. Before I got into the adult industry, I was a makeup artist and esthetician. And while I was passionate about that, I just found that I'm a lot more passionate about doing adult work, and I never thought that would be possible or that I would be here. But I must like it because I've been doing it for 7 years now.
Yeah.
And yeah, I do a little bit of everything from mainstream shooting, but I still live stream on Chaturbate a lot because that's where I got my start, and that's where most of my fans are, I suppose.
Okay. Very nice. Very nice. So do you prefer doing one over the other? I know there's diehard cam girls, or that's all they love to do, just like there's diehard OnlyFans girls, and then there's just the diehard mainstream. Do you find that you like one more than the other?
I guess I do like camming a little bit more because, I can do it from my own home. I can take things at my own pace. But some days I do like shooting a lot more because it's something that gets me out of the house and talking to people and kind of still working, I guess, at in a somewhat regular way, which I think is really important because not enough cam girls leave their houses when I think it's really important to do that.
Yeah, that's a very real thing. One of my really good friends, her name is Babe Bondetta, and she started off as a cam girl as well too. And she said that she would start to feel really isolated. And then she was the idea of just talking to a computer screen for days on end would start to get to her. So she decided her social activity was going to start dancing. So she started dancing and going to clubs. She's like, oh my God, I feel so much better because I don't have to just interact with people online, even though I absolutely love it, but it's also nice to just be around people.
It really is. It really is. And I think the pandemic kind of messed us up a little bit where we were so isolated, and now we just are kind of getting used to going out and doing things again.
Oh yeah, that's a big thing. I know I felt myself camming during COVID as well too, because I had started off as a dancer, and then I was all right, well, I'm bored at home, so I was might as well make some more money, and I decided to start camming. And honestly, during COVID, I feel that was the most lucrative time to be doing it.
It really was. It was very lucrative for everything. Camming, OnlyFans, clip sales, everything.
Yeah, I think that's when it kind of took off, was during COVID. That's when OnlyFans and everything spiked. So the one thing that I love about your page, about you, is how vocal you are on your social media pages. And the first thing is that your username is Corn Dog Princess, which is absolutely my hands down favorite. So can you kind of tell us how you got your name?
So the Corn Dog Princess thing, that was actually that's my Instagram account from high school, believe it or not. Because my Hime Marie accounts kept getting banned. I probably had 4 or 5 Instagram accounts banned. And I just thought, well, I really don't want to make another one. I've had this weird high school Instagram account that I haven't touched in close to a decade. And in my mind, I thought in my head, maybe it's grandfathered in some way that if I use this account, maybe I won't get in trouble on it.
Yeah.
And so far, I haven't. So
see, I love that. Because I'm on my 8th Instagram page account.
Oh, that's awful.
And they make it harder and harder and harder the more that you get taken down or blacklisted. And I had my pages, even when I was just like doing normal modeling, like no adult work, but just like glamour modeling, my page would just keep getting reported. So I kind of did the same thing too. I got logged out of my Twitter account, and then they wouldn't let me make a new one. So I logged in from my one from high school that I hadn't logged into since like 2013. So it like looks like I've been on Twitter for like 15 years or something like that or whatever. And I was like, okay, yeah. So I haven't gotten taken down. I haven't gotten taken down. You have to do what you got to do. So I get that 100%. I guess like great minds think alike.
Yeah, absolutely.
I think another amazing thing that drew you're gorgeous, and we were signed to the same agency there, but we all know that went up to flames.
Yes.
But I've always kind of stayed with what you're doing and what some of the other girls in the agency have been doing. And the one thing that really drew my eye is how vocal you are and how passionate you are about different things going on. And I think the biggest thing is that you are Jewish, correct? And are you from, what's your heritage, if you don't mind me asking?
Yeah, so my heritage is very mixed. I am Hispanic and German and Jewish. My mom's family, they're from Mexico, and then my dad is the German Jewish side. We never really grew up with that many Jewish traditions, but it was more of a heritage thing for us, preserving certain Jewish like traditions and cultures. But as far as like religion in my family goes, that is all over the place.
Okay.
There's such a big mix of religion in my family from like various different backgrounds. That's kind of why I want to study religion, actually, as well, to kind of understand the psychology of it a little bit more.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
Yeah, I was going to say, well, thank you for that explanation. I think that's amazing.
As far as like shoots and stuff go, I'm actually kind of taking a step back from shooting as much this year mainstream, but that's mostly just for my own health, because it's a little crazy in the industry right now.
Yeah, it is a little wild. I myself, too, am taking a step back from doing a lot of mainstream stuff. So, I completely get it. It's like wild, wild west out there right now. For those who are like in it,
It's a weird time.
It's a weird time for everyone.
Yes.
So speaking and kind of taking a step back, so you said you gained like a lot of Israeli fans and Jewish fans. Now, is it like, do you find that it's kind of taboo? Because also, do they find that you're like a sex worker? Are they more... I don't know how that works. Are they more strict? Are they more accepting?
They're a lot more accepting, honestly, because you have to think Israel is one of the only democracies that's in the Middle East. Sex work is not necessarily legal, but like there are strippers and sex workers out there. There's just a lot more laws and regulations that does make it more difficult for them to do. But in other Middle Eastern countries, that would be completely unheard of, off the table. So Israel itself is a very open country, and it's one of the only countries that you can be openly gay in the Middle East as well. Okay. So I would find that most people, Jews, Israelis, they're very accepting and open to that.
Okay, that's amazing. You just taught me something. I feel like it's a lot more progressive than I think people would think
really
it to
is.
be.
It really is.
Okay, that's amazing. But yeah, so moving on from then kind of talking about like the industry right now, I feel like everything kind of seems a little bit, I don't know, like convoluted, I guess is the word. Everything seems a little bit all over the place. How do you feel about it? Do you think that it is, how do you feel about the industry right now? Do you think it's going to be, is it kind of stagnant for you, or what's kind of making you want to take a step back from it?
To be completely honest, I just don't think there's a lot more new people right now. Mm-hmm. I would say since I've been in it, the industry has quadrupled in size, and obviously OnlyFans is a big part of it. I just think we are spreading way too much bacteria around right now, doing just in excess, like shooting scenes excessively, collabing back to back. It's just really, it's affected my health a lot. Mm-hmm. And it's caused me to have to take some time off. And I just, it's hard to show up on set when someone smells really bad and you don't want to say anything to them. But yeah, I went on honestly a big Twitter rampage once about this, and specifically like issues that some ladies come into that I wish we would be a bit more conscientious of. Yeah. I think you know what I'm talking about. Yeah. It's just really bad right now. it's like a 50-50 chance I felt when I was showing up on set, a girl would have something going on, and it's like, how do you not know? How do you not know?
Yeah, so I'll be the one to say it. So it's BV, which bacterial vaginosis. It's like when you, number one, the telltale sign is smell.
Smells awful.
It smell like, and it does smell awful. Like, you know, I've had it, you know, it comes with the work that you do. But the biggest thing is like, you know, like there's no way that you can't know. And I have unfortunately ran into that with women too, where it's like, I know that they're shooting back to back to back. And I know the girls who say like, oh, I do 3 scenes in a day,
That's
like
crazy.
a content. And it's like, I do cream and all this other stuff. It's already hard enough to try and keep yourself healthy and maintain and trying to like, have a healthy lifestyle, and then B, try to keep creating content. I myself, I don't really shoot a lot of collabs with people. I just chose not to. And just another main reason too is because of like the health risk. And I find that I don't want to work with someone who's already shot 2 or 3 times today. You know, you were just upping your risk. And I've ran into collabs where I was like, oh, I'm here. I don't really know how to tell you that this ain't it, but like, you know, but luckily enough, like I haven't had anything in recent times. But yes, I think that is a huge thing. And there is like a plethora of people doing like fake tests, and just because like they want to shoot content and they got to do this. So it's like, I don't understand why you would go to that extreme and put other people in danger.
Absolutely.
And also out of work too, because I don't think people realize like if you are sick, you can't work. So like a lot of the mainstream artists and who started off mainstream and then went to doing OnlyFans, the mainstream performers, they have, like yourself, you've been doing it for 7 years. You know that you get your test every 2 weeks. You know that this is your bread and butter for certain, you know, for certain people it is. So I think when people are putting others at risk, I think it's like a lot of the newer performers who are coming in and they just, because they come from really amateur sets of like doing their own content, they're not taking the precautions.
Absolutely. Yeah, I definitely find that as well. And I don't want to keep adding more to our like panel that we need to as far as testing goes. We test for so many different things. But honestly, I would not be too upset if we added BV on there. I think it's something that needs to be done. And when it first happens, I really think it's going to put half the industry out, probably.
Oh, yeah.
Just saying.
No, it really would. And I think that like right now, I think that there's this really weird like mixture of performers in the industry, right? I think there's people who have been in the game for like a long time and they know how to be professional, like yourself, like 7 years. I've known, you know, I had like John Legendary on here like 2 weeks ago, and same thing. It's like he's trying to be professional. He's like trying to do this, and he's telling me that like, oh, now there's all these other new male performers who are coming in and they're not doing those, or they're not taking the steps to be a professional performer. And now it's making it harder for me to like to work with other female performers and different things like that, because they have had bad experiences. And it goes both ways, you know? I think that the women are a lot more vocal about the male performers, more so than the males being vocal about female performers, because as we know, Twitter gets messy really quickly. Yeah, it's been very messy lately too. And that's also what kind of has me taking a step back as well, because I just want to say, like, majority of the male performers that I've worked with, I've really enjoyed. I've not had a bad experience. But if you go on Twitter, or X, as it's now called, whatever, there's always something new about some guy doing something bad. And, you know, then it's like, do you have to add, like, my no list is getting longer than my yes list at this point. Oh, absolutely. So, absolutely.
Yeah.
I don't blame you for that, girl. I have the same thing. I think my no list is getting bigger. And I think the one thing for a lot of these kind of like pop-up performers is what I call them. They just kind of pop up out of nowhere.
That is such a great term for that. That's so good.
Because I'm like, where did you come from? And how did you just like, all of a sudden you just have like a threshold
they just
on the
materialize.
Industry. Yeah. And then like, you know, like maybe 2-3 months later, everyone's coming out the woodworks being like, this person is this, or this person is this, or, you know, what was the recent one? Attempted murder.
Oh my God. Yeah. Yeah. It keeps getting crazier.
Yeah. And it's like, and I think the bad thing is like people were putting a word of mouth in for people, right? So it's like always like, like a reference. So if like, let's say, because I was asking someone, I was like, how did this person get into the industry and how did they have such a chokehold on everybody? Like, what did they do? And the performer I was talking to, she goes, I'm not going to lie. She goes, I brought him into the industry. And then because I'm such a big name performer, I, put my word in for him and I vouched for him and I said these things. And I didn't know that he was going to, take it to his head, get big and egotistical, and then just kind of fuck everyone over. So I'm like, okay, so it's like these people are vouching for you to bring you in and then they fuck up.
Unfortunately, that happens a lot. And I've had that happen with like agents and agencies before where I go and really vouch for someone and it just ends up completely falling apart.
Yeah. Yeah. I think I've come to realize that the industry does do that a lot. You end up vouching for someone and then it just blows up a couple of months later. Like even just for like our agency that we were signed with, that blew up out of nowhere.
Yes.
And kind of left us all like scattered.
Yeah, that was a mess.
That was a big
such a mess.
And I don't feel like a lot of, it's kind of sad too, because I feel like a lot of performers haven't quite found their grounding after that, because a lot of them were so new. And it was kind of a bummer because there was so much good talent on that roster. And like a lot of the women, they just either they quit performing or they felt like lost, or even now, like I still talk to a couple of friends with a couple of the girls on the roster and they're like, dude, I just don't know what I'm doing. And all the agencies that like, there's a lot that I don't want to sign with and there's like a lot that I don't want to do in my career and like trying to like balance and trying to figure that out. And,
it's hard because there's no manual or handbook on how to navigate this industry. You're just kind of thrown into the Shark Tank. Yeah. Like same with my, like one of the very first scenes that I shot ever, they give me a douche and I'm like, what do I do with this? Yeah. Like I thought you weren't supposed to douche. I thought that was like bad for you.
Exactly.
So yeah, there's no guidebook or manual to tell these ladies what they should or shouldn't be doing. It is very sad.
Yeah, it is I think we need to do like a, like at least like a little slight preparation. I think I'm gonna do like a preparation episode for you are going into the industry. Yes, they will give you a douche. And no, don't use the water that's in there.
Don't. Oh my God, don't.
Yeah, so in your 7 years of performing, so what has been some of like your greatest moments, do you think? Because I feel like you are such like a low-key person and I love that about you, but you're such like a big performer.
Oh, thank you. That's so sweet. I feel like you're such a big performer.
Oh, thank you.
I would say probably my best achievements so far have been like I've presented for the AVN Awards twice. And I feel like that's just, it's a really good way of like being recognized, by the industry saying, oh, maybe you didn't win an award, but we still see you. You're good enough to come on stage at least and be part of the show. So I think those have probably been my biggest achievements so far, I would say. Shot for pretty much all the companies that I've wanted to shoot for at this point. So I'm just very content.
Yeah, I love that. I love that. And so are you working on any projects right now?
At the moment, not really. I'm just doing my camming. I only have like a few scenes on my books this year because, like I said, I'm really trying to cut back. The only really big thing that I'm kind of working on is dipping my feet into the AI stuff. Just because I know it seems a little bit scary, but I don't want to be like a complete Luddite, when this AI inevitably kind of starts being integrated into our lives. I'm working with Utopia AI to basically create a likeness of myself, that's like a bot that people can chat with. And the end goal is ultimately that it's going to be able to create pictures and videos of myself and my likeness. And it's going to make custom video buying, a lot easier and probably a lot even less expensive to the consumer, because if they want real Hime Marie content, it's probably going to cost a little bit more if I actually have to exert the energy to do it.
I love that. I've been dabbling into the AI as well too. And I think the biggest thing is like all the things we were talking about like health and all those fun things. I think AI kind of takes all that and just it just puts it like in a nice, safe setting, you know? And I'm excited about AI because I know it is scary. I know there's no kind of like boundaries right now, and it could take like a very hard turn for like the worst. But like, honestly, I think this will be great for our industry, just because like you could talk to people in different languages. I'd like to see what my fans, like, what do you want to see me? Do you want to see me blonde? Do you want to see me like this? And it's, you're almost like immortal, right? So at this point, it's just like, you can keep doing sex work for the end of time if you wanted to. And I'm excited to kind of see what they do with the with video once like video starts to become like a thing, because the photos are amazing.
Yeah.
You know, and I have seen your photos and I think it's like great. I think there was one photo where you had like this massive hair. It was kind of 80s style.
Yeah, they really went with an 80s vibe. I loved that. I loved it so much.
Yeah. So what made you decide to kind of dip your foot into AI?
Just that I just didn't want to fall behind, and I kind of wanted to get a foothold on having my own likeness like digitized for myself before any other companies could really do that as well. Because that's also kind of a fear that we have right now in the industry is, oh my gosh, what if I'm on set and I'm not like reading the paperwork thoroughly enough and I'm just signing my complete rights away?
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah, that is a big thing. That's really smart. That's really smart.
So that's kind of why I wanted to kind of get a head start on it myself. And then now when I am on set and looking through paperwork, I'm definitely looking through it a little bit more thoroughly to make sure there's no clauses about AI that would slip past me.
And that's a good reminder for you guys to read your paperwork. We already have to be there for 8 hours a day anyways. You might as well read over the paperwork and make sure, just skim over it real nice and quick and make sure there's nothing in there that will say likeness and AI and different things like that. They know how to get over on you.
Yes.
Do you have any words of advice for women looking to get into the industry? Would you tell them to start with like camming? Would you tell them to start with OnlyFans? Or what would your advice be for anyone looking to get into the industry?
I would 100% say camming. I think it's great because OnlyFans is very hard to do from the ground up. I mean, let's be honest, it's called OnlyFans. If you don't even have any fans yet, it's not really they aren't just going to come out of nowhere. They have to come from somewhere. So I definitely recommend camming at first because you're quite literally putting yourself out there for everyone to see. And you build that relationship with your fans, and it just gets you comfortable with being in front of the camera as well. I mean, obviously you're going to be a little awkward at first, but after you do it for a couple weeks, a month, it's like second nature at that point. And I do find that, I think a lot of people find that after you have some webcamming experience, they are usually kind of the performers that come into like mainstream shoots with a lot more confidence and kind of know a little bit more of what they're doing, at least, or that familiarity with like acting, role playing, you know.
Yeah, I find that actually very true as well. I started off as like dancing, and I feel like if you've already had like a little bit of sex work experience, I find that it's easier to transition into mainstream and not just like OnlyFans. OnlyFans, you're gonna be confused, right?
Yeah.
And I think it's like, it's only for fans. So if you have no fans, y'all, don't be out here.
Yeah.
And I mean, I guess it's not impossible to build it up, but like right now, it's really hard to get in. Like right now, like if you did it like 2020 when you was like on the brink of just like greatness, I think that like it was easy for you to start from nothing, right? Yeah. Now I feel like if you're trying to start from the ground up now, you are really pushing against the wave. Because I started off with like dancing and being like a sugar baby and things like that. So I know what it's like to put on a facade. I know what it's like to have to like show up and like, you know, perform, right? So I always like tell people like before you do it, like have a little some sort of leeway. Yeah, just don't go like balls to the wall and just get in it. I mean, I guess you could. I know plenty of girls who have, and they've made a great name for themselves, but you know, if it were up to me, I think you should have some sort of entryway. And I think camming is a great way. I wish I would have started camming a lot sooner. I wish that's how I would have gotten into
Yeah,
it.
I think dancing is great too, though, because
Yeah.
I think it's really confidence building as well. I just recently started feature dancing, and it's really helped with my confidence a lot already as well.
Yeah, I did. You know what? Funny story is I went during AVN. I saw that you were feature dancing, and me and a friend of mine that were out there, we went to go see you dance, and they're like, "Oh, you just missed your last set." I was like, "Well, fuck."
Oh, crap. You guys must have came late then.
What, like you literally had finished up your last set at like they're like, "Oh, she just got off set at like 20 minutes ago." I was like, "Well, shit."
Was it? I think my last one was at midnight, or maybe was it 1? I don't remember.
Yeah, I don't know, but I was like looking forward to it.
Oh,
but,
thank you. I really appreciate that.
I was like, I'm just gonna go surprise her, throw some money on her.
I really appreciate that, though.
Yeah. How do you feel like being like a feature dancer? I have heard some mixed reviews. I remember when I went to the club, and this isn't my first time. So this is my second AVN I went to. The first one I went to, I remember these dancers came up to the booth that I was signing at, and they were like, "Oh, all the porn stars, you guys are fucking up our money." And I was like, so sorry. No, if you're going to get money, you're going to get it regardless. So that's not my problem. But I know that sometimes that there can be like this,
cattiness.
yeah, this cattiness.
Yeah, and thankfully I have not experienced that. There is always like a slight fear of that as well, that they think I'm just here to steal the show, and that's not the case. Whenever I feature dance, I usually just do my 2 dances, and I don't really work the floor after that because I don't really feel like that's my territory, you know?
Right.
I want to leave that for the girls to do their thing. No, I've not experienced that, thankfully. I actually have a really nice story one time when this last time I was dancing in Sacramento. There was a dancer there, and she said she really liked what I was doing because I don't know how to do the pole. I have my big feather fans, so I do a little routine with that and then just stuff on the floor. And she said, "I really appreciate that you're coming in and kind of doing something a little bit different that makes you different from the rest of us." And she actually she threw some money at me while I was on the stage, so that was really sweet. Thankfully, I've not had to deal with many catty girls, but I've definitely gotten some looks, like some side eyes from some, but definitely no confrontation. I would hope not.
Yeah, no, I think you're so sweet. I remember like when I was still kind of dancing and getting my foot into the adult entertainment side, I remember I went back home to dance in Denver, and I didn't really tell too many people. I think that like all my friends and stuff knew, but I remember there was like a couple of girls that would be like, "Oh, the only reason you're making money is because you're doing this, this, and this, and like you're making it hard for us to make money." And it's like, no. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
And it's like, no, I don't think that has anything to do with me. And, I think that the hustle is the hustle. You're going to get the money regardless. I think it's all about what you put out there. That's with anything. That's the consistency with camming or OnlyFans or, showing up. So unfortunately, like I've had some bad experience with that. And I've also had some great experiences. Like I've had couples come up to me and be like, "Hey, like, are you August?"
Oh, that's so sweet. That's really sweet.
And I think that's really cute.
Excuse me.
Yeah. And then I've also had some weird encounters with fans. This guy, he goes, "I want to make sure it's you. Can I see your belly button?" Yeah, I was like, "All right, sir, whatever. That's a weird thing."
How would you? He knows it's you by your belly button.
By my belly button. That was his thing.
Interesting. There's some interesting fetishes out there.
There are, and I don't know how he came across that or why that was his thing, because I've never advertised anything about my belly button. Yeah. So do a lot of your fans come and see you when you do feature dancing?
A decent amount, I will say. I've been pleasantly surprised by the amount of fans that do actually show up, and I'm hoping it's going to be more soon. That would be great.
Yeah, absolutely. Was it kind of nerve-wracking for you when you started doing feature dancing? Like, were you nervous about like fans showing up, or like maybe maybe like a spiteful fan or just like a really obsessed fan? Like, was it kind of nerve-wracking for you to like make yourself present in that space, especially doing like a live sexy show?
A little bit. I would say what was more nerve-wracking was just the performative aspect of it. Like, oh my God, I'm in these tall heels. I'm trying not to fall and fuck up my face. Yeah. I think that is a bit more scary. As far as like fans coming, no, that hasn't really been too much of a fear. I've danced at Sapphire mostly, these feature dances. They have really good security there.
Yes.
However, I did actually have a creepy fan once when I was in Sacramento and I was just doing like a daytime signing in the adult store. This one guy came and he knew who I was and he was just lingering for a long time, doing the fan linger where he just wants to talk and talk and talk, and he's not really spending any money, but he just is asking me all these very perverted questions about my scenes. Oh, did you like it when they did this or that? You like being spanked? You like this? You like that? And it's like, dude. And he was just overstaying his welcome. So I excused myself and said, I have to go to the bathroom. And so I just got up and left, and I told the security there, like, this guy's just making me really uncomfortable. So when I come back down, if you could just come and hang out with me, that would be great.
Yeah.
And so
yeah, that's amazing. Good on them for taking care of you like that.
yes.
So I guess the last thing I would love to chat with you about is that you had a major change in your life. You were actually engaged.
Yes, I was engaged.
Yes, love that.
To Mr. Kyle Mason. He's a great male talent, super sweet guy.
Yes, he is. Yes, he is. I had a pleasure of working with him once, and then I think he was a what did I say? He was like an extra on set. So he was just like the driver. But yeah.
That's funny.
Yeah, he's really amazing. So have you set a date? Are you excited? We're
very excited. We haven't set a date yet, but we are aiming for probably next summer. I want a nice summertime warm wedding because I'm just sick of the cold. I want to be warm.
Yes.
Especially if I'm going to wear a nice dress, I want to be warm.
Yes.
So we're thinking next summer, we would like to do it here in LA because that's where most of our friends are. If not LA, Vegas, even though we don't really want a Vegas wedding. It would be nice.
Yes.
It would be nice to have something fun and posh in LA.
Yeah.
We're very excited.
Yeah.
And the way he proposed was really cute.
Yes, let us know. I wanna know.
To be honest, I kind of knew it was coming because he's not very good at being sneaky.
Yeah.
And so he proposed on a hike, and he just so conveniently invited like one of his friends who happens to be really good at like videography and like photos.
Yeah.
So he was just kind of there with us on the hike. I just had a feeling.
Yeah.
I just knew. And he asked the question, and obviously I said yes.
Yeah.
And the ring is really beautiful.
It is gorgeous, guys.
Got a really, really good ring.
You got a good man, too.
He is. He's honestly inspired me to be a better person. And I think that's the biggest reason why our relationship works so well, because I find that people have a lot of trouble just dating within the industry, in the industry, outside the industry. It's just hard to date in general.
Yeah, dating is
these
rough
days.
right now.
It's tough. And I think the biggest thing is, like I said, I see how good of a person that he is, and it makes me want to work on myself and be just as good as he is.
I love that. And how did you guys meet?
So we met in July of like 2017. This is when we met, and I shot my very first scene ever with him. It was for Naughty America, and we shot in Florida. And obviously we had really good chemistry and we vibed really well on set, but we didn't start dating right away. We stayed in touch though, and it was probably maybe a year and a half later. We both happened to be in LA. He realized I was there, and he texted me and asked if I wanted to get dinner, and then the rest is history from there.
I love that. I'm like, dude, I think I got not the short end of the stick. I wouldn't say that. I'm not gonna shit on my male performers like that, but I will say this. I know a lot of people in the industry end up like dating and marrying each other, and I think that's beautiful. On the other hand, I'm like, I don't know. Maybe I just haven't worked with the right person. Maybe I'm just not looking. I don't think I'm looking for love right now.
It's hard. I also consider myself very, very lucky to have found him and have him, because dating is just,
it's shitty right now.
It's really shitty. I think we have like also too high of expectations of people, where we expect our prospective partner to be exactly like us, and any little mistake they might make is a red flag, when we don't really leave a lot of room for human error anymore. Because Kyle and I certainly aren't perfect. We've made plenty of mistakes. It's just a matter, a relationship comes with, you know, some of the ugly parts as well.
Oh, absolutely.
And, but, you know, we work through them, and that's really important, I think.
Yeah, it is. I'm still a firm believer in love. I think it's just like really weird timing right now. I feel like social media is telling people like there's no real thing as like love. I feel it's just like a really weird time.
People are so weird. They're with the whole like anti-label thing. Like, I don't want to put a label on us. It's like, if you spend most of your time together, you go out to dinner with each other often, and you're sleeping together, you're dating.
You're dating.
You're dating. Just say it. It's not a bad, scary word.
No.
You know?
No, I don't know. Everyone's so scared to be in a relationship now. I'm not scared. I'm just very particular with my time because I am a lover. And if I do want to date somebody, like I want to put my time into that. I don't want a situationship. I don't want to, you know, let's be all over the place with it. Like I do want a solid commitment.
Yeah.
But I think like right now I'm still like deep in my career. So like I feel that like that's not on my list of things to do. But I'm glad that you found happiness. I think that's beautiful.
Thank you.
And I cannot wait to see this wedding and the colors and everything. It's exciting.
It's very exciting.
So let everyone know where they can find you at if they want to get more of you.
Yeah, guys. So as you heard earlier on Instagram, I am corndog_princess. There's quite a few fakes out there, so just to make sure it's the right one, just as I said it. If you want to follow me on X/Twitter, I am Hime Marie. That's spelled HIMEXMARIE.
All right. Well, thank you, Hime, Corn Dog Princess.
Thank you. Thank you so much for inviting me here again. I really appreciate it.
Absolutely. You've been nothing but a pleasure. So until next time, stay hustling, my little bunnies, and make sure to give us a follow. All the social medias at Hustle Bunny.
Bye, guys.